Welcome back to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I'm your host, Glenn Dog. Today's Game of Thrones title episode is Second and Sons, First in Our Hearts. We are recording on June 24th, 2018, Season 3, Episode 8, titled The Second Sons. I'm here as always with Ben of House McLean.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Lucan of House Blackmead.
Hello.
Abby, a.k.a. Gertie of House Condensation.
Hello.
What's up, guys? What are we drinking today?
Oh, we've got a little plethora of select beers. Let's see, we've got some Blue Moons. We've got some
Boot Selects.
Bud Selects. We've
Coronas.
got
Coronas.
some Corona Extras. I've got a bottle of Bailey's.
Abby, do you have something special?
Well, I thought I'd be classy this morning and drinking a tea, some type of twisted tea, and then we're going to roll on to the cider. And then if that falls through, we got some Not Your Father's root beer and wine, of course.
Always good with the wine.
Oh, yeah. Probably should stick to it.
All right. Friend of the show shout out. Lucan.
All right. Yeah, we got Radio Westeros at Radio Westeros on Twitter. Yolkboy and Lady Gwyn, one of the best podcasts out there for good theories and just good analysis of a lot of different things in A Song of Ice and Fire and the show. Definitely check them out. We met them at Ice and Fire Con. And if you're thinking about going to Ice and Fire Con next year, you should buy your tickets now and use our Ice and Fire Con promo coupon drinks when you're checking out.
Think about it.
Think about it.
All right. Moving on. News. Current Game of Thrones events. All right. We have, I guess yesterday was Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington and Rose Leslie got hitched. And I assume that Rose Leslie is taking John's name, Snow. Rose Snow.
Rose Snow.
What do you guys think about that? Anything?
It's cute.
relevant?
I found out they're both part of the royal family. So this is the true royal wedding of the year.
Yes.
More so than because I think
other
she's like Charles II's like great grandniece, and he's Charles the first something or other. It's not like a blood relation, but they're interconnected
They're
to the royal
related.
family from both
She's
sides.
Scottish royalty, if
Scottish.
nothing else. Yeah, she grew up in a castle. Like,
Yeah.
the clan Leslie, it's a big deal. It's awesome.
This is Abby's strength.
Oh my gosh! When you sent the link over last night, I was looking through it, and of course I went to the comments because they're always hilarious. Did anybody else read about how he's a great grand bastard of the king, and how they both it was super funny. But yeah, she's definitely Scottish, and she grew up in a clan castle, and it just made me really sad that she is not a certain character in one of my other favorite shows. There's a perfect place for her. She even has the hair. So, awesome.
Maybe next time.
So one more quick note before we get started. We are live on YouTube for the first time today. So any technical issues, we're working on it. And also shout out to those in the Twitch or
Wow.
Whoa, see,
Womp
technical
womp.
Fail.
in the chat. Johnny Indie Boots, what's up, buddy? And Chrissy of Old Stones, love you guys.
If you get a chance, definitely check out their streams. Johnny Indie Boots does some fun gaming and Game of Thrones and Westworld and everything. And Chrissy, I haven't checked out any of your stuff yet. I'm sure
It's good shit. Check it out.
I believe
He's
so.
just real rude like that.
No,
Don't take it personal.
I'm trying to be honest, but I've talked to her in the chat rooms a few times, and it's always good.
She's the bomb.
Yeah, always fun.
All right. Moving on. We are going to do our episode 4 sigil giveaway.
Catching up on giveaways that we haven't done over the past few
I
episodes.
think we're doing 2 today.
Doing 2
So
today,
this
folks.
is the first one.
Trendy.
Trendy. Abby.
All right, here we
number?
go. Yeah, I got it. Hold on. Are you ready?
I think we're ready.
All right, we have a sigil of Spuds McKenzie. Sigil color is a navy with your badge outline of pink.
Wow.
How cute is
It's
that?
like a little baby. Is
Aw.
it a boy or girl?
Baby
We don't know.
Spud.
It's a gender reveal sigil. That's what it is.
Well, it contradicts though. One's navy, one's pink.
Yep,
So
you'd
is it
be all right.
twins?
Twins?
twins.
Hey, this is just a
I
get the
win.
ball rolling idea thing. We're gonna start doing these gender reveals with our sigils.
Right.
That's all this is.
As we go through it, you can pick for yourself. If that's your sticker, choose for yourself.
You just white out the outline or the sigil.
So again, that is Spuds McKenzie Navy sigil with a pink badge outline.
Please, if you have that, you can tweet us a picture of your winning sticker at Know and Drink, and you will claim your prize that way.
All right, previous episode recap. Luke.
John and Ygritte walk and talk south of the wall. Rob finds out he's gonna be a papa. Sansa and Tyrion prepare for their wedding. Dany meets with a wise guy. Arya gets hounded. Jaime and Brienne dance with a hairy bear. And Theon gets aroused.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, this is episode number season 3, episode 8. Episode duration 56 minutes. It aired on May 19th, 2013. The director, Michelle McLaren. Writers, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
This is Michelle McLaren's second episode in a row, I believe. 2 in a row.
2 in a row. Oh, that's a streak.
It's a
Good for her. Episode description, Benji.
Dany meets the Titan's bastard. King's Landing hosts a royal wedding.
Stay tuned if that all happens. All right, moving to our Quill and Tankard Pub trivia. Today's question. All right, so the episode title, Second Sons. Dany meets with 3 of them. What are their names? Spelling counts.
No.
perfect.
Wrong.
All right, ready for the music?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No.
music, yeah. Yeah,
Music,
we're good
yeah.
for music.
Stay off the YouTube chat for.
Oh, yeah, shit. Don't look at the YouTube.
I haven't.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Ready?
Enter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're. Yeah.
Glenn, can you score our scantrons? Did we all
well.
use number 2 pencils and stay within the little
So
little
the
dots?
answers are Daenerys hosts the captain, Mero Abravosi, also known as the Titan's bastard, and Prendal na Gazin, a Gascari, also in attendance, Prendal's capable and striking lieutenant, Dario Naharis.
Lieutenant.
So let's see. Benji says Dario Merkin Habdo.
I couldn't remember.
Luke says Titan's bastard Mero Prendal, just his first name.
Oh, man.
Dario, just his first name.
Oh, my gosh.
Looks like nobody gets points.
Oh, man. And what did Abby put?
Prendal, Mario, and Dario.
I'd give Abby.
At first, I thought they said Grendel. I went over Grendel, Frendal, Pendal. Like, I
So,
was
Glenn, how's our scoring going on this one?
I'd say Benji definitely doesn't
Nope.
get it.
I get 0.
I guess I'll give the other 2, even though, I mean, you guys kind of...
Kind of botched the last names. All right.
we forgot the who is or who are.
And episode 9 will retally up all the ones that we've got and see where we stand going into the final. So it could be close, this one, I think.
I don't know.
I had a short lead, but
It's dwindling.
It's
yes.
like-
I know. That's what I'm saying.
We're coming after you.
I know.
I think I'm gearing up for season 4 because I missed like 2 episodes and then
Yeah. Hey, you gotta be
And then,
pay to
you know,
play.
the questions you guys come up with are kind of bullshit. It is what it
I
is,
think
though.
Lucas Bullshit award this this season.
For Bart.
Bart.
It's in the credits. Oh, it's
Oh, I
just
didn't-
what's about bullshit
I'm
questions.
just saying, just wait if you're playing in the credits. Who is the third key grip of?
We're not talking about gaffers here, all right? Leave.
All right, let's move to the meat and potatoes.
Yummy.
Opening credits: Peter Dinklage, top billed, King's Landing, Harrenhal, River Run, Winterfell, Wall, Yungkai.
Okay.
Como te llamas? Muy bien.
Biblioteca.
All right, first scene in the Riverlands. Arya and the Hound. Arya is going to be delivered to the twins. Ben?
That's a pretty fair bet. You know, he gives her, I'll give you one shot. You better kill me with that rock, because if you don't, I'll fucking cut your hands off.
Right.
You know, and in her reasoning, because at this point she thinks she's getting taken back to King's Landing still, and so it's like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. Take the shot. You know, it's kind of one of those of, well, you're fucked either way. Either hit the shot and run, or, you know, try. But I think it's a fair bet. I think it's smart of her to not do that, but...
Yeah, I think it's a smart choice.
Right.
Smart she made the right choice. I'm just saying. It was a fair bet.
It's just something to see this relationship that they got going on get off to a rocky start. Abby?
She just is... It's just so unfortunate, you know. She's so angry, number one. I don't blame her for being angry. But if you compare her to Sansa, like, they both are in these terrible situations. They're stuck. They're prisoners. They're trying to navigate. It's just very interesting coming from the same family, technically same upbringing, how differently they handle maybe the fight or flight, what's just inherently in them. I was thinking about that while I was watching it. I also, sorry to jump back, but I believe that in the opening credits, we see Winterfell and the Weirwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's the first time there's a face in it in the credits.
I think it's been there.
Yeah.
I
just haven't noticed it, I guess, because I kept
more with the smoke around, because it kind of, the smoke kind of
Maybe.
burns at the tree.
And yeah, so I definitely noticed that one this time. So, anyways, Arya's the badass. I don't know.
She is. Luke, you have anything or no?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't put a note here, so
You
you're gonna try to
mean?
call me out on that. But yeah, I like this scene. It's just fun seeing these two characters together, and I just when he's like, "Where the hell do you think we're going?"
Yeah, right.
Is that the Blackwater?
Yeah.
What,
and
the Blackwater?
I
What
think-
the fuck? Come
like-
on. Use your
Don't you think-
Benji just said, you know, this is the first time she learns that she's actually not going to, because that's what she thinks the whole time is the Hound's just there to get her. That's what she thinks his duty is the whole time. And so maybe a turning of the page when she figured out that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, her face definitely seems to change on the like, oh, well then.
Well,
Yeah, well, and you see him kind of soften towards her. I guess Hound softening the best he can. Like, he looks at her and it's gruff saying, "Where do you think we're going?" But I think he realizes how in trouble she thinks she has been, giving a little more claim to her nastiness towards him. He's funny though. He's just kick all you want, little girl. I love him.
my last note about this is they're kind of talking before she learns all that shit, and she's just like, "You're the worst man, you know, ever." And he's like, he's not. His answer is kind of perfect. It's like, "Well, you never knew my brother." Not saying that I'm not bad, but there's worse men than me.
I'll take second place.
Second place. Anything else, guys, or no?
No, good scene.
Yeah.
Good scene. Moving on to Yunkai Biblioteca.
The Yokai Library.
Danny, Jorah, Barristan, Grey Worm, captains of Second Sons. Danny meets with the Titan's bastard. Luke?
Poor Missandei here. She's just the butt of all of his jokes, for lack of a better pun. I mean, just like the sweetest girl, just try to do her damn job, and just
Right.
getting subjugated, you know, like subjected
hey,
to
slave,
this fucking
give me some wine or whatever
terrible
he
shit.
says.
He's like smacking her ass. It's just gross.
Yeah.
This guy's an asshole.
Grody. Abby?
I thought it was interesting to see how they came in talking to Danny, and like they weren't very intimidated by her. Her dragons didn't necessarily intimidate them, and we see, is it Dario?
Mhm.
Is that how you say his name? You don't have 10,000, you have 8,000. Liar. Like, he just calls out all this shit. It's
Yeah, but
Pretty-
then, go ahead. Sorry.
so I just really like when any type of character, whether we like them, friend or foe, just because somebody's in power, gives it to them straight instead of blowing smoke up their ass.
Yeah.
I don't like those games.
Yeah.
Those are microfinger games. I like
Davos games.
Davos games, definitely.
It kind of goes to when Jorah calls him out to, they're like, Second Sons has faced worse odds than one, and Second Sons has faced worse odds than run too, and so he gives it right back to him after the 8,000 remark and everything. But fucking Francis, where you at, Francis? Anybody recognize the actor, Dario? It said Skirin, Screen. He's from Deadpool. He's the bad guy from Deadpool 1, and he's been in a few other things. He's a great fucking actor, and when I saw him pop up on here, I didn't know who he was, but every time I see him after this, it's like, oh, it's fucking Dario.
Right.
And
luckily, he stays around for a long time on the show.
well, the character is a good character. It's a great character.
We'll get into that later.
Well, there we go. Now I won't predict that he dies today or tomorrow.
No, he's
around.
He's definitely a character.
Yeah, he's
in
around.
the show.
I do.
You'll find out later.
But
At some point, you'll find out.
I'm not even listening. Sorry, I'm just changing my computer.
I do like Danny's line of, I'm only a young girl new to the ways of wars, where straight pull from the book where it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. I got dragons. I'll fucking kill you.
All right, Luke, you already said?
I already said.
All right, I don't really have much. The guy, yeah, he's an asshole. That's about it.
And as a clarification, Abby referenced Microfinger, who is Littlefinger.
No, yes.
just to clarify. We have new people in the chat. So we gotta
Yeah.
There is a worksheet that we're working on. Not really. Sheets. Your fucking love of sheets over there with all the names.
Yeah.
Ben Sheets over there.
Ben Sheets. I took a Sheets at the pool.
Next scene, Dario, Mero, Prendal. Dario gets to sneak into Danny's camp. Ben, you want to start this one off?
Sure. Just seems kind of like a dumb way for the choosing. The coins obviously have a different feel to them, so the girl would know what coin she's giving to whoever.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah, definitely. I agree. You definitely could stack the deck.
could have said, hey,
I would kill that one.
kind of, I would say, hey, hold out your fucking G-string, go reaching in, and pull something out that way, or, but not just give her, here, pass them out, hun. Fuck you, bitch.
One of these is a square.
Yeah.
Literally.
And one of them is the size of a hubcap.
Like, let's make this as obvious for the dumb TV viewer, which is, I think we're starting to get into some of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, let's make it as fucking obvious to everyone. Let's make it a different shape, even. Yeah, I think you're just going to be able to feel that.
And that's the last one that's given. Like, yeah, no shit.
I didn't know this was a coin.
Well, this guy keeps bitching. Let's give that to him. All right, Abby.
She was a very attractive lady. Very, very. So, other than that, not much.
We found Abby's type. You think she's going to recognize her next time? Or is this a Rouse situation?
Probably not. I mean, she had
whores,
really
they
nice
change
boobs.
all
It was
the
more her
time.
outfit, honestly. It was like the crossed little chained.
Barely wearing anything, but just a little
Yeah,
bit.
but it was that chain across like her sides. I was like, ooh, yeah, I like that.
All right.
What a gal.
What a gal.
In
That's
fairness,
right.
I thought, like, first glance, I thought it was Daisy.
It looks, there's some similarities, yeah.
Yeah.
Except that it's not her, but yeah.
Don't know
it's
who
similar.
Daisy is.
It definitely looks similar. I'm
Yeah.
just stealing.
It's just not her.
It's just not her.
Luke?
I don't have a whole lot on this. The coins thing is like, come on.
Come
Dario
on,
definitely
man.
seems to be playing up the super charming, smarmy almost. I'll leave it at that.
Gotta love him.
Fucking Francis.
Fucking Francis.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
We shall quickly move on. Danny Masande Dario. Danny takes a bath, and Dario delivers some heads. So basically, we see the heads are going to roll, and the Second Sons and Dario will fight for her.
Yeah.
Luke?
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting whenever he walks in and, he kind of grabs Masande and kind of gets his point across that, hey, I'm here to talk. Don't scream. Go away. And then Danny just gets up out of the tub naked, just to, like, prove the point. She's like, she's not intimidated by
I'm
him
taking a bath.
doing this. And clearly she was taking a bath. That was what she was trying to show, Glenn.
I'm clean.
But it's like a real confident move that she's doing. Like, she doesn't care what he sees because in her head she still holds the power regardless if he holds the knife in this situation. I just think it's an interesting way that she goes through that scene.
Yeah. No, agreed. my only note on this is now that is one badass motherfucker, and I will dub Abby's because fucking Ed Screen. Hell yeah.
I will second Luke's, or third, I guess, Luke's sentiment there, because the way she just commands herself, she's obviously in danger or could be, but at this point, there's very little she can do. So instead of acting scared and like she has no powers, she just, I'm, a Targaryen, the Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very impressive. I also will say, God help anybody that interrupts my fucking bath. Okay? I would have fucking killed him right there just for that. I don't give a shit if you have heads. You're on my team.
Wait till the bath's over.
Yeah, like,
and then we'll talk.
Bitch, I have things to do, and this is my 10 minutes alone. Get the fuck out. Rude.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can I get a
Unexcusable.
fucking minute?
Yeah.
God damn, this
Damn
is
it.
me time.
Yeah. Mom's trying to take a bath. Give her a break.
Dodgeball is Mrs. Lippy time 2.
This is Lippy. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, my last thing that I'll say is basically she finds out that she had killed the other two, and then she kind of is like, well, how do I know you're not going to be, faithful to me? You're hanging around with them and you killed them, your comrades. So why not, are you going to do the same thing to me?
Exactly.
Better offer comes along.
I think he says he'll fight for beauty, so
Yeah.
that's all that ends.
Yeah, that's...
I liked his point of, like, the two things that are good in the world or whatever. Killing a man that wants to kill you and fucking a woman that wants to be fucked. That's always been my question with whores. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I gotta throw this to you. Isn't it better to have somebody who wants to be fucked instead of paying for them? I think he's right.
You don't pay to fuck them. You pay them to go away.
To go away?
That is not necessarily the viewpoint of everyone on this panel.
No, that's a Charlie Sheen straight up quote.
Okay.
You don't pay them to fuck you. You pay them to go
Winning.
away. Yeah. It's so. I mean,
Pay him at the end.
Yes, I mean you're right. It's
Gotcha.
better to,
Okay.
And if you don't have the money, you'll be doing something else.
Well, yeah, but you'll be working for the pimp next.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, it's better to not pay for it.
Yeah. I just was like, man, this man is speaking truths here. I like him.
He's
Minus the
definitely
bath interrupter.
pretty clear cut on what he's looking for, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move down to Dragonstone, if we will. We have Mech, Gendry, Stannis, Davos. So that's actually Mel. I
Mel,
think. There's
typo.
a typo. Mech.
We've got
Like
new
a
character
Ninjago
named
mech.
Is there a Pokemon mech?
Muck.
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 Ninjago has mechs, though. Don't
See?
you worry.
See?
Mhm.
We cover all cross section of fandom. here.
Oh my gosh, I could totally do a podcast on Ninjago. It's my favorite show. I
So
love
stay
it so
tuned,
much.
folks, for the Ninjago podcast
With mechs.
with Max.
Can I ask a question here with this scene?
Sure.
Can I introduce the
can we
scene
introduce
first?
the scene first?
Jesus.
Jesus, Glenn,
Are you
you're
drinking
so
cider?
needy.
We were talking about the mechs.
You drinking cider already?
not
Stannis
yet.
welcomes Gendry
We'll
to
get there.
Dragonstone. Davos reads his Targaryen book. Abby has a question.
Okay, so here we go. Thank you for that. This right here, is this where Stannis and Mel, where Stannis brought Mel to have the little shadow baby thing?
No.
No.
Well, they hooked up. He tried hooking up with her in this room right before she left to get
Not
Gendry.
Stannis. I'm sorry, Davos. Davos rose her out to somewhere.
Yes. No.
And they come up on a beach.
Yes, no?
It just looks very similar to the beach that
No, he took-
Gendry.
Sorry. He took him to crap. The Baratheons.
Storm's End.
Storm's End. Thank
Storm's
you.
End. Okay.
Standerman, Johnny Indy Boots.
Yeah. Took him to Storm's End. This is
Okay.
Dragonstone.
Okay.
So
That just looks similar. I wasn't sure.
It does look similar. I think that could be a budget on traveling locations.
Gotcha. I
Yeah,
mean, there
maybe
obviously
they
wasn't
use
that
the
weird
same-
gate.
Was it earlier in the season they're using the same caves? So they're probably using the same
Multi-use cave.
multi-use,
yeah. No, I agree. Very well. It's very budgeted smartly. That's the
That's
case.
fine.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was supposed to be recognizably like the same place. I'm pretty sure it is. Just saying.
All right. Ben?
I like the line, if the lamb sees the knife, the fear seeps in and darkens the meat. You've slaughtered many lambs, and none have seen the blade. I love how fucking cold she is. She's cold and calculating. She knows what she needs to do. It might be right, might be wrong, but in her eyes, this is what we need to do, and this is how you fucking do it.
I think she did have a jacket on, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's cold.
She's still cold?
Still
though?
cold.
Cold.
Okay.
Cold as ice. Willing to sacrifice that lamb.
Oh my god,
Luke?
that was perfect.
Davos and Stannis, they just a great fucking combo. You know, because Davos is, you know, this is when they're going down to the
Did
cell.
Michelle McLaren say that in the commentary?
I didn't actually watch the commentary this time. I wish I would have, but
I'm sure she did.
she probably did. Man, they're just such great chemistry between these two actors. But like whenever Stannis meets Davos down in the cell, and he's literally, and Davos calls him out for it because Stannis doesn't want to do this. To him, Stannis thinks this is the right thing to do, but Davos knows that he came down there because he wanted Davos to talk him out of it, basically. And
Yeah,
he
he
says,
needs that angel on the shoulder.
right, basically, you know, you're not a man who slaughters innocents for gain or glory, and that's true. That's not Stannis. He doesn't do this needlessly. You know, he does the right thing, whether it's cold or not. This isn't necessarily the right thing, and I like that we get this scene with these two, and I think it's well done.
Right, and I think, to your point, Davos seems like the only civil person. Like, he's going to tell you the truth, what's on his mind. You know, he's not going to bullshit you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's going to be, you know, do the right thing, this, you know, ethical thing. And I guess that's what Stannis is kind of looking for in him. But he also, you can see, drinks the right aid, if you will, from Melisandre or Mech.
I love Mech. Mech is a great character.
Abby, do you have anything else, or is that question
I
the only thing?
Just like when Stannis is asking Davos about, you know, basically, how's it going down here? And he's like, oh, I can't complain. Get cold food in the morning and hot at night. I've stayed in worse places. Like, how can you be that positive? What a guy. He's awesome. And he's trying to read, and I like it as he's like struggling through, and he's like, fuck.
He's getting better. He's getting better though.
He is.
On the reading front.
He is. He is
It's-
hooked on phonics,
Hooked
as
on
they
phonics.
say.
It's awesome.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Did you know
He's a
if you're
Bill.
illiterate, your chances of being in prison are much greater. So maybe once he learns to read, he will
They'll
be
let him
freed.
out.
Yeah, I think this
You
is a
can
good
read?
plan.
That's your get
You
out,
get out.
get out of jail free card.
Well, you have to be able to read the card. That's all the card says is, if you can read this, walk out
Get
the
out
door.
of jail read card.
If you could read this, there's a key in your cell. Go get it.
It's like one of the escape rooms.
There's a map.
Yeah.
Go this way. All right. Next we see Mel and Gendry. Mel gets physical and a bit kinky. So basically, Gendry gets lucky and then unlucky. Luke.
Yeah, no, Gedry is really funny here, where he's just like, he's really tentative about going anywhere and like falling for any of this, and then she gives him the wine, and he's like, "Wow, that's good, that's really good." Like, he's never had any swill like this, you know, and it just keeps going downhill for him. Like, she gets him on the bed, ties him up. He's like, "Okay, all right, little weird," and then she like really ties his feet down, and he's like, "Wait a second,
What is this? This is getting too kinky.
Armageddon,
Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Johnny Knoxville."
I liked his line because going to the first part where she's like, you don't have to pay for that. You know, it's like, you think you have to, you know, pay a receipt on all this that you're given. And he's like, yeah, a little bit. You know, we used to have a bowl of brown and you know, down in Flea Bottom, and we would just pretend the meat was chicken. It wasn't chicken. And just like
we knew it wasn't
Like,
chicken.
we knew it wasn't chicken.
Small talk of
He just from where he came from in Flea Bottom to being here, he's awestruck because he's living in a fucking castle. He's living in
that ain't
pretty
no
much
chicken.
the castle apart from the Red Keep. Now we're hanging out there, and he's hanging out with the fucking hot ass chick. So, hey, he's skeptical, and then all of a sudden, hey, how you doing? She's on top of me.
Zero to hero to zero.
zero again.
Yeah.
At least I got chicken. Abby?
Well, you did get a little bit of like a half cock shot, which is always appreciated on my end. That's pretty exciting.
There you go.
Half cocked.
Yeah, it was half cocked. I did wonder though when she walked away. I mean, if we're like, you know, tent's fully pitched and riding on top. How does when she just walks away, is it just nice and slipped right underneath the pants?
That's it. I don't know.
I just don't.
Very
I think
slick.
it's a trick of the light.
Very slick.
When it's all taped down.
Yeah, I just don't understand. These are just, technical issues that I wonder if I could get an explanation from the
Right.
production.
We'll write a letter to Michelle McLaren probably, or it might be
Totally.
in the commentary. We'll have to rewatch the commentary.
Totally
later on
upsetting.
today. My last thing, I guess, is couldn't he just donate blood? Just give blood, or do you need to sacrifice to really sell the
Right.
point?
Could you just be like, can I just like cut my arm? Did we have to? Do we have
I'll
to
give
like,
blood once every 2 weeks, indefinitely, and then they'll settle this.
And how does she get off saying, oh, this is Davos's fault. He needed proof. Blame him.
Well, the
I'm so
blood,
confused.
because he would have been dead if it wasn't for Davos. She would have just straight up burnt him in general, like his whole body. Davos needed the proof of a little bit of blood, so they put the leeches on, got a little bit of blood, and so
It just still seems
So
like there
it
are
should
better ways
be
of doing this. Be like, hey, we need some
thanking
blood.
Davos for just getting a little, not blaming Davos.
well,
Like,
yeah, she doesn't want to, but she doesn't want Gendry to thinking,
Oh,
Yeah.
he's my friend. She,
That's my friend.
yeah.
well, it keeps her in a good light. At least I'm not getting, obviously, maybe Gendry's point of view here, but it kind of seems like Davos is behind this act. So, when really it's her and him saving him. I don't
Yeah.
know.
See, it's all perspective, Abby.
It is.
And
It
so
is.
much blood indeed, huh, Mel? Yeah. And where she puts her right where she knew the blood was
Oh.
going.
Oh, she got the blood
The
rushing.
blood, most of the blood's there, so we'll put one. there.
Because blood isn't in your body unless you get him aroused, right? Just there is no blood until that happens.
No blood anywhere else.
We have
there. That's
thrown-
Just a bunch of tubes.
Go ahead,
We have
Abby.
thrown the little leeches in too, and he names 3 names,
Mm-hmm.
but he calls them. What is
Usurper?
that? Yes.
Someone who takes over the crown, basically claims your crown below you.
Okay.
Or
So-
from beneath you.
I think,
Okay.
Usurping the crown.
I think you said you surfer, so someone that surfs
Yeah.
on the narrow sea.
Or Point Break. Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah. Cool, man.
Cool.
Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny
Tsunami is
Utah.
another good reference.
That's the only one I got. Disney movies.
Lilo and Stitch.
There we go. Rip Girls.
Let's just keep. Okay, what other Disney movies have surfing in them? I think we're running out of them. Lilo and
I don't
Stitch
know.
2.
We'll come up with next episode.
Moana.
Just,
We'll do some.
Moana.
There is some. Oh, I think you said Mulan. There's some
Moana.
snowboarding
Yeah.
in Mulan. It's very similar.
I've never seen Moana, but I would assume they're on the island. It's probably close. It's rafting, I think.
Yep.
all right. I think it's about time, before we get too carried away, for our next sigil giveaway. Episode 8. Is this Luke's turn
It
to pick a
is.
number?
All right, let's go to the random number generator. Number 8.
Number
Another
8.
Spuds McKenzie
McKenzie,
sigil.
2
Two
for
in a row.
2.
2 for 2. This is an orange Spuds McKenzie with a teal badge outline. So if you have that Spuds McKenzie orange sigil with a teal badge outline, be sure to tweet us a picture of your winning sticker at No and Drink to claim your prize. We love you.
We love you. I love you.
I love you.
Goodbye, my love. Anyways, I think something of note. I think we tallied up the giveaways or whatever, and I think the Spuds was the least amount that were given.
Let's see.
So pretty rad.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Pretty rad. Rad roach.
A rad roach?
That'd be a good sigil.
A rad roach. All right,
Super mutant.
let's stop fucking around.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
King's Landing. Tyrion, Pod, Sansa, Shea Stadium. Tyrion confronts Sansa badly. Who wants it? Who wants it?
You won't be a prisoner after today. You'll be my wife. Crickets. 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 Well, I suppose that's not much better.
I suppose that's just a different kind of prison.
Yeah.
Abby?
I like this scene, and I guess maybe I construed as badly. That's not at all how I took it. I took it as very awkward. Neither of them necessarily want this. but I thought it was a very constructive conversation on both sides, where he says, she says, you have no idea like how I'm feeling. One, we saw before when Sansa, I'm not exactly sure where I'm referencing this to, but I know I made a comment about if she would have just put him in the place, like when Joffrey apologized to her one time and she's like, oh, it's okay, Your Grace. Like, I totally forgive you, about taking some of that power right here when she tells him, you don't know how I feel. She's claiming some power for herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to just be easily bought off, which is good in the long run. I also think she does believe him, like, you won't be hurt. I think it softens her to him. She still doesn't want it, but I think she does believe that these are all true. And you see it when she really does give like a genuine smile about the wine. You must drink the wine today.
Do you drink wine? When I have to.
Yeah.
Well, today you have to.
Yes. Like that, I found this scene it gives me a lot of hope for this relationship. Even if maybe in the future it doesn't get physical, I think it could be an alliance, maybe.
That's actually a really good point. Like, it's nice to see that we have, evidence of that this early. Where, like, yeah, they're not quite seeing eye to eye right away, but at least they're not. There's no animosity between them. Like, it's maybe not what either of them really want, but the fact that neither of them really want it, I think, really strengthens them as a team, like you're saying. And it's good to see that. I think Tyrion kind of realizes that, and she might be coming around to that a little bit.
And I also think that he doesn't ever say to her, like, so in the future, if Sansa, because, I mean, she's 14 years old. Like, I understand at this time, that's old enough to be married, and sex is still a scary thing, but not unheard of. That should be always. But that he doesn't make any claims right here that later on when she's 20 or 35 and has had his kids look back and be like, bitch, the day we got married, you said you didn't want me. Like, he was very careful in his words where, yes, this isn't like my choice or whatever, but I will be good to you. And I think the way he chooses his words through these next few scenes just set up, one, a good foundation for whatever relationship they're going to have, and two, nothing is going to come back and haunt each other where she's like, well, you didn't want me, I wasn't what you wanted, and resent him. And also, even though she said maybe a little more harsh things, as far as he could be like, you obviously didn't want me, she could always use I was 14. So I think it just sets them up nicely for the future.
Right. I'd agree. I think trying to build the foundation for the relationship. I think my takeaway from this is Tyrion's just trying to make her feel comfortable with the whole thing, because a lot of times you get married to someone just not out of your, mind or anything like that. Somebody else told you you're getting married, and you don't meet them until you're getting married.
Like all arranged marriages in general,
right.
kind of
so,
thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's your husband over there.
Oh yeah,
you'll marry him.
You're gonna meet him when you get up to the aisle, to the end of the aisle.
Yeah, I have no
Married
idea
at
what
First Sight.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
So yeah, I think it's just kind of awkward though. Like Sansa kind of being stubborn the whole time, and I think Tyrion's just trying to make her feel comfortable with the whole thing, and not feel like she's a prisoner.
Johnny says, 14 is the new 40. He goes, I love how Abby claims 14 is okay to get married.
Johnny, you twist my words so hard. Okay, I've already told Luke I've got to gear up for next week. My notes have to be on point because clarity.
Let's rename the episode 14 is the new 40.
14 is you want that to be the let's
secondary title.
I'll make a note of it.
Just like maybe like the slogan for the episode.
That'll be the tweet that goes out.
Oh, good. Now we can have controversy surrounding me.
Oh well, it was better than
damn it.
The Twitter post.
Giant baby.
Episode up. Giant baby pussy. God
damn it.
That was a rough tweet to put out there.
Giant baby pussy. This something that got taken out of context. So.
Apologies were made.
Giant baby pussy.
Gifts were given.
What the
gifts were made.
Oh shit. right, next scene. Cersei, Marg gets a storybook lesson about the rains. Pretty much more of the story. If you ever call me sister again, I'll have you strangled in your sleep.
Pretty blunt here,
Yeah.
Cersei. She's like, "Don't call me sister, you cunt."
Yeah,
That's what she's calling her. And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, we're not cool. Like, this will never be a thing."
And who are you? The proud lord said that I must bow so low. I love the fucking explanation of this song because we've heard the song a couple times, but we don't never learn the history or anything. And even in the book wise, when I was reading through first couple times, I kind of glanced over it or didn't pay. It was until I watched this.
But we know when you read it, you're not really reading it, right?
Well, yeah, bro, I'm always skimming. I'm also always listening,
I
just hearing it.
skimmed the word the.
Yeah, but so I never really got the full explanation. But the show does a great job of explaining
Being pretty
the
blatant
history,
about it.
yeah, of everything.
So, Abby, did you pick up a lot of what she was saying there for the history of it?
Oh yeah. So we had the Rains, the House Rain, and they were the second wealthiest, and they basically, you don't stop at second. You continue on. The wife had bigger, larger diamonds than the mother, Tywin's wife, and
Joanna Lannister.
okay, there we go. There's her name. And
The name
when
drop.
name drop. When they rebelled, Tywin had them slaughtered, every single one, and left outside the halls to rot all summer long. Women, children, men.
Yummy.
Everybody.
I will say here, this is where I see Cersei and Tywin being so similar. That
Ruthlessness.
yes, that very much just absolute ruthlessness, complete honesty. There is no game they play except for exact truth in their intention. I do not like Cersei, but right here, what was she supposed to do? Giggle and laugh and say, "Oh, ha ha ha!" This very clear cut. I don't like you.
All right, be
I will have
feisty.
you strangle you. I will strangle you, and I don't care. It's pretty impressive.
And like we see Marjorie trying to do something similar to Tyrion, like build a relationship with Cersei, and trying to build a foundation, and then Cersei just knocks her down a peg. This is the bitch. Leave me the fuck alone. We are not related.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, Abby, that she's pulling Tywin type cards here. She's clearly going for that. So knowing the story of the Rains at Castamere, does that change your view of Tywin at all? It's your one and true God. So
I know, he's awesome.
is this a little too harsh for you, or you're like, yeah, no, that makes sense
Well, I mean, it does make sense
for his character,
for his character,
and also for your character.
yeah, kind of.
This is what Gertie's Gallows is all for.
For his
You're right.
caricature.
I just think I have tried to keep a really open mind when it comes to all the characters across the show right now, because
Sure.
I am constantly learning new things that put them in new lights. But your question right there about Tywin, when I heard this, I was kind of very, not taken aback, but like, oh shit, like that is definitely a way to go.
That wasn't live. Perfect across the double screen.
But it just was a very harsh punishment. But it doesn't surprise me. I've tried to keep that same open mind with Mel because up until this point, I have not been her biggest fan. I don't trust her. But because of all these characters who are constantly shifting, my perception of them is constantly shifting. She's the one that I'm like, there has to be something that at some point I understand. But no, Tywin's still the man. So is Davos.
Who else do you like?
Who else? Tywin, Davos, Arya, the Hound.
Johnny's got a question for you, Abby. Is,
Oh, boy.
15 too old to get married?
You're kind of, knocking on that biological clock at that point. So you should probably just stick to 14, Johnny. Sorry.
Good questions. Anybody else got anything else?
Riveting.
Megasandra.
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 Sorry. That's how it's Johnny
Megasandra.
That should be a young guy.
Me llamo Megasandra.
Okay.
No, I don't have much.
Oh, cool. Next scene, Sansa, giant baby pussy, Tyrion, Lannisters, Tyrell's small council, many people. Sansa walks down the aisle and gets cloaked by Tyrion. Ben?
I like the change in this from the book to show because book-wise, Sansa, she's like, I'm not nailing down. Fuck you. You know, like he's like tugging on her
Fuck
dress
no.
and like she's just like, nope, not gonna do it, not gonna do it. And so finally they had to have Dantos kneel down behind her so Tyrion could climb up and put the cloak on. This was a way better, move. It made her seem more kind and caring, and still made GBP look like the fucking real cunt he is. Let Tyrion have a little pride. Leave him his fucking step stool. Yeah.
Right. Ab?
Man, as soon as he put his hand out there, giant baby pussy, I just felt so bad for Sansa. Like, just let's, pour salt in the wounds. He's just such a horrible person.
He is such a cunt.
Yes, gosh, he really is. And I'm surprised by the fact that Tywin especially stands there as Joffrey takes that stool away. That surprises me in Tywin's character. I understand that he dislikes Tyrion and humiliating him is okay, but public humiliation of a Lannister, I just don't see that in his wheelhouse. Like,
so the way I view that, because I agree, I see where you're coming from,
Like,
but
it
the other thing
surprises
is he
me.
doesn't want to amplify any tension or discourse in his pride, his own
Okay.
family clan, and so he can't actively go against
the king.
giant baby pussy
Right.
Joffrey in this, because that would show discontinuity with the
Right.
family. You can't do that.
He's weighing cards here. Yeah, it just,
Does that
I
change
see
your
it
view
that
of
way too.
Tywin?
Not yet. It does make me sad though, because I really like Tyrion. So that just sucks. And it makes me sad that in the book, she's even worse to him. That sucks.
This scene is like especially rough since Sophie Turner is so fucking tall
So
at this point
fucking
already.
tall.
she's like in the last season she
Yeah.
grew like a foot,
Oh, yeah, she's
And
easily like
Tyrion-
5'2",
and Tyrion is about the same height as he
Hasn't.
has been.
Yeah, he's
since he was 12.
he's had a problem.
I'm not gonna
with
judge.
growing, and that's okay.
And that's fine.
Happens to the best of us.
Basically, yeah. Of all the planned weddings, this one seems to have been expedited. Pretty good dance move, if you will.
Ooh, danced around that one.
Dance around that question. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Just get this one done so they can have the North. Because I think, basically everyone's trying to get Sansa or whatever. And, you're going to be married to Loras. Oh, happily ever after and all that bullshit. And then Dan swoops in and is like, nope, you're marrying Tyrion. It's going to happen next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, definitely with her being a hostage, I feel like they want to make sure that happens like right away so she doesn't decide to kill herself. Like, I think that's probably a part of it. Or if something changes and she escapes or gets rescued. The Tyrell wedding, it has to be really large and extravagant. So like they have to put time into making that a king's wedding type deal. But I agree, it's a pretty good dance move.
It's like
to lock this one up, get a claim in the North, and
Right.
Smart political choice.
Yeah. Take her off the table.
Even though she's 11, which is perfectly fine in Abby's book.
Oh my God, no. All of you, stop it. Do not endorse any of these comments. I think it's pretty strange that Sansa here is getting the best of this whole situation. Of the 3 weddings we're going to see, or between this, Joffrey and Cersei's wedding, to the Tyrells, and Big T over here, I think she comes out the best with her match.
Sansa,
Yep.
Tyrion's a catch.
He is, and even not like, oh,
Yeah, I
Tyrion.
would.
what a catch.
Well, not even like, oh, Tyrion's not getting it. He's getting a pretty good bargain here too, but I think her end of it is a little sweeter than his is.
he will definitely go out of his way to protect her from anything from his own family. I mean, and that's all he cares about with this. I mean, yeah, he finds her attractive, unfortunately to himself. Even he's frustrated by that. And Braun was calling him out on that last episode. And but it is nice that she has somebody that can kind of be in her side, on her, in her corner, and it's a pretty good teammate to have in this shitty situation.
I agree.
Anybody got anything else? Or
No, sir.
wedding party. Tyrion is getting good and drunk at his party. Loras visits with his bride to be. So yeah, this is the dance move. Kind of comes to fruition when he
just dancing all over the place.
Tywin basically says, the deal is not done. We need to seal the deal with a baby inside of Sansa. That's what Renly failed to do with, or whatever he said about Renly or whatever. That's what he failed to do at one point. That's what you need to do. Abby, what do you think?
I really enjoyed his Tyrion's smile right there when he's taking that big drink of wine and he just smiles up there. It is but just my favorite part of the whole scene because it looks so drunk. I do wonder if he was pretty plastered while filming this because it's pretty genuine. I'm just kind of sick of everybody getting into Tyrion's life, even my man Tywin.
Just forcing things upon him, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Let the man be happy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Can't he marry a 10-year-old?
Yeah. Can't he marry a funny whore? Like, just let him.
Funny heart.
Funny heart.
I like Olenna having a grand old time playing Who is your daddy and what does he do? Yeah, just basically, well, you're going to be his mother, or you're going to be her father-in-law, but then you'll be his sister-in-law and sister and niece, and they'll be the... I don't know, but you'll all be related when we're done.
Your brother will be your stepfather and your brother.
Yeah.
And,
one thing is clear.
One thing is clear.
Your brother will be your child's grandfather.
Yes, it's so funny.
Right. And it's just basically making a mockery out of the whole thing. Like, she does not agree with any of this, but she can't really do anything about it. So she's
here to
having fun with it,
through.
I guess. And,
yeah. She's the most boss woman so far. She's awesome. She's I like at the end, she says it all exactly right because I paused it and like just try to work through it. Yes. And she goes, "Oh, I don't know." like she absolutely has worked this out in a family tree somewhere with like exact fractions and decimals and all sorts of shit. And oh, I don't know. She's so proper, but so badass.
Yeah, and when she gets to like the final one, and Loras is just like, "God damn it! Like this sucks."
like,
He just goes walking.
Stop
off.
it.
Pretty funny. And so then, whenever we get back to drunk Tyrion, Tywin's walking up. He's like, "You're pretty drunk. Are you gonna be able to perform?" Like, because this is the main thing that Tywin cares about is you have to put a biscuit in the basket.
Sure.
That's all he's getting at. And Tyrion's response. This is the second reference we've had.
It is. And I was annoyed when I saw your note. I was like, "Damn it! You took my."
Was it episode 8? It was right before Blackwater.
Yeah,
it was
episode
episode
8 of 2.
So
yeah.
Exactly a season later, we have the second reference to the god of tits and wine.
But now
I'm the god of tits and wine. I should build a shrine to myself the next time I visit a brothel. Pretty funny.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, you got your notes in first. I'm like, fuck. I was like getting to the scene. I'm like, oh, this is my thing. Yeah. God damn it, Luke. All right, fine. I'll find something else to talk about. But no, I love that line. That's where my God comes from. It's from this scene. It's not even that first one from last season. It's from this scene here that I came up with that or pulled that out. But yeah, I love how, I was telling earlier how he just progressively just getting drunker and drunker and drunker. And then Joffrey's like, "Time for the betting. Hey, let's go. Time for the betting and let's strip her." And he's like, "There will be no betting." And Joffrey's like, "I command it." Well, you'll be fucking your wife.
That's the next scene.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's the next scene.
No, it's still in the wedding party.
The way this is put on.
Tyrion refuses to consummate the marriage. And
we haven't gone to that yet.
Yes, where Tyrion gets good and drunk at his party.
No,
Loras visits with his bride to be. I'm in the right scene.
He's right. He's at the
It's
right
all one
scene.
scene.
Next
Is in the room.
in the room.
Okay.
So anyway,
Sorry, I had a note right before
Calm the
that.
fuck
then.
down.
Gotcha.
Sorry. It's all still one continued
Yes,
scene.
and
My bad.
it does kind of come right after but Tyrion slams the dagger down. He's like, "No, you'll be fucking your bride with a wooden cock." And that look on his face is like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah." He's not putting up with shit, especially with what Joffrey did right before that. And Luke, you have a note to that.
Yeah, so Joffrey had basically cornered Sansa and was like, well, you finally got to marry a Lannister. Lucky you. And she's just like, great, Your Grace. Thanks. Like, fuck off a bit.
Wait, that's next scene.
And that's next scene, but I'm going to talk about it because it's this scene. And Joffrey's like, well, I guess, it doesn't really matter which Lannister, puts a baby in your belly. And maybe I'll, show up after my uncle passes out. Wouldn't you like that? And he's like, she doesn't say anything, crickets. No, you wouldn't. I'll have Sir Meryn hold you down.
Yeah.
And was it Blunt?
Somebody else.
Boris Blunt.
Yep.
And smoking blunts. And like just
LeGarrette Blunt.
Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts.
We going to Silent Bob right now?
Sorry.
Jay and Silent Bob strike back. But yeah, like Joff basically promising rape. What a piece of shit. Like, it just keeps getting worse for this guy. Just a total piece of shit.
But it's definitely not
Right.
out of the realm of these kings and whatever. I think it's called first rights or whatever. Braveheart, they do it with the girls that get
There's
married.
never actually a historical precedent for that.
No, I didn't.
But that's
It is a fictional thing, yes.
A fictional thing. Okay, so
And Rich Shatwell in the chat can prove me wrong.
oh
Or back
Lord,
me up. 'Cause I feel like this just came up on one of Johnny's streams recently.
really? I
So-
just I watched Braveheart not too long ago. So then when this came up, I was like,
been
it's
on TV.
kind of like I don't even know if they consider it rape because he's king, and even if it is rape, I mean he's a king, so it's not like they can do much to him. I think before all of this happens, I really like Loras and Cersei. My father. Nobody cares what your father said. Like this is another one of those
my
just
Nobody
blunt.
cares.
Like I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. I just really respect that, even coming from Cersei. Like, I don't want to play the games. If you don't like me or you don't want to hear what I have to say, just let it out. But oh man, I love it. Like he just walks away, or she walks away. It's just such a dismissal. It's very, I like it. I don't know. I don't like liking Cersei.
But you like Cersei.
But you,
Nah,
you-
just
Okay,
there's some Cersei scenes that I'm like, okay, there we go.
nobody cares
Tell
what
it
your
like it
father
is.
said.
Nobody cares. It's like before all that was whenever Tyrion just gives a toast to,
yeah.
to Loras, and Loras is
God damn.
he's just like, everyone leave me alone.
I know.
where's the stable boy?
Pretty funny.
Oh, and coming into this, at some point, there's something in here. I wish I could say. You see Loras chatting up somebody in the background. I believe it might be when Marjorie
guy?
and Cersei are talking. Yeah, and then Loras is in the background, just off to the left
Yeah.
of the shot.
Talking to
chatting up
some
some dude.
boy or something.
I
Like
didn't
that.
see
Yes.
that. I wonder if it was that
Yeah.
same squire we saw last.
I
episode
can't
or two.
remember. It was some
Yeah, I missed it.
some kind of squire or
Yeah.
somebody of that nature. All right. Next scene, Tyrion, Sansa. Tyrion refuses to consummate the marriage until Sansa wants him to. Luke, since you know what scenes are which,
Now that we
so
know what scene we're
why
on,
don't you go first?
so clearly, the whole line that Benji was talking about is where we're at now, and so Tyrion refuses to consummate the marriage, and see, that's not how I set this up. I think I meant to have that as be the bedding, but refuses the bedding.
Oh God.
See what happens when you come up with the scene changes when you're drunk. bad things. But Tyrion's pretty clearly drunk,
Yeah.
or at least played it up as they walked out, and comes up here and he's like, "Well, I guess we got to consummate this marriage.
My father's ordered us.
We have to do it." And then so she starts taking off her clothes, and he's like, "All right, I can't do this. Cold feet."
Yeah.
Probably the right choice. Because she is way too old, as Abby would say.
Oh my lord! I think that he does. Well, obviously, I thought the whole walking out of after the bedding scene issue was definitely played up. I do think he was drunk. I don't think he was that drunk that he's spilling these stupid little antidotes. I just think he's very intelligent. And the fact, like, I'm going to swallow my pride here and play it off like my dad gave me the out. And then once we get in, I think it's almost like that subconscious. He doesn't want to necessarily want her, but he does. So I think if she would have been, like, you know, DTF, he would have done it. But obviously we have some reservation, and I think he looks for that. Is there reservation, or is there, like, you know, gung-ho excitement?
She's just too old for him right now.
Right. With that reservation, he's like, nope, we're not doing it. So props to Tyrion.
Right. He realizes it's not right to do it, and then he passes out on the ottoman.
Yeah, Ottoman Empire.
Damn it, stole my joke.
Ottoman Empire. Benji?
But
man.
I like how he's like, I won't touch you. I won't touch you until you're ready to. Well, what if I'm never ready to? And so my watch begins.
Here's the night's watch.
Into the night's watch.
Chink.
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 That's for Abby.
But, you know, it's sweet on his part, but, you know, he's like, you know what? I wish he would have, because, again, I can't remember if this is where he tells her in the books or she just knows, but the horror thing, he's like, I know he does the "and so my watch begins" line, but he's like, yeah, if you never do, I have horrors.
I think he mentions it in the books.
Yeah,
because even here, I was waiting for him to say something. Like, that's what horrors are for.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Or maybe that's a conversation around there, not to her. I don't remember.
Yeah, but like she says later that he admitted that he had horrors and stuff, so I just kind of thought that maybe it would be played in here. I kind of think it would have been maybe interesting to slip that in, but it made it sweeter not having it.
Exactly,
you know?
because he's showing that he does care about her and respects her. And that's the thing that we're supposed to get from it. I think.
And I think he says something about his dad can go fuck himself or something like that. You know, he says it differently.
He can start with.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, I'll tell him who to start with.
So, do you think Tywin goes and fucks himself after this? Speculations, Abby?
No. Tywin
how old is the girl that he?
How old is his hand?
Tywin's
That's
definitely
what Tywin
too
does.
old. I mean, he's over 18, so.
Yep.
Is that good enough?
Old.
Is that
Too
good
old.
enough anymore?
His dad's slow pitched up.
All right. Anything else from that one, or just move on?
Let's just move
Tyrion, Sansa, hashtag Shea Stadium. Shea sees that no marriage was consummated. Looks like none of us really have any notes besides Benji. So Benji, why don't you go?
Well, there ain't no cuddle puddle, so
Ew.
You think it's that or looking for blood?
yes.
I think it's blood.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Blood. Because if you did it right, there wouldn't be a cuddle puddle.
true.
That's also a really awkward thing to say.
You never,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, I thought mine was at least pushing it enough to where it was.
I just like the look
And
that
now I'm blushing.
he gives Shea Stadium after, like, she obviously checks, like, here's your breakfast, wake your asses up, pull the sheets. And she looks at him, and he kind of gives her, like, I'm not playing here with you. Like, this isn't what I wanted.
I'm on the
So be
ottoman.
happy with me another day. And she was. Little smile.
And she leaves.
Can you read that last comment?
So, coming from Johnny here, I have a feeling all of Luke's notes are small doodles of cocks as he's winging it. Pretty much. This is a fairly
That gets him in
valid
the
point.
zone. Cocks.
There they are.
Dem cocks.
Dem cocks. I didn't think I'd be called out that clearly. I mean, come on. I thought we were friends, Johnny. I thought we were friends.
I have a new project I'm going to start. You ready? Cock pictures of all characters. It's going to.
You're just going to hand draw these?
Yeah,
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, we have a new YouTube
Little-
channel starting up from
little
the
doodles.
The
podcast.com.
podcast that draws cocks.
Cockadoodles.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Game of Thrones.
Featuring
cockadoodles.
Gertie, House of Condescension.
So Gendry will have like a half cock.
It's gonna be underneath pants. You only got like, man, not nearly
You
enough.
only got the tip of the iceberg.
You know,
Not the tip, the end.
Tormund, giant's cock. Giant, half of his cock was bit off by a bear, but it's still twice as long as any other man's.
Oh my god.
All right, so look forward to
Look
that
forward
in
to
the
that.
future from Abby.
And Luke's notes.
Do what I can.
And my notes.
Inspirations from Luke's notes. All right. Enough cock talk.
It's enough cocks.
Final scene north of the wall.
Oh,
Cheers.
final scene. We
Final
have one of
scene.
these just about every episode.
Every time, yeah. One of these times.
There's one that we actually don't technically have to do the final scene because it's all one scene.
So
We'll get there when we
cheers
get
at the
there.
beginning.
Okay, start the final scene. Get that intro
Final
music.
scene. All right. Sam, Gilly, baby, Timothy Crasterson.
Timothy Crasterson.
Sam and Gilly find a broken down hut near a weirwood tree, and the ravens go ape shit. Abby, why don't you start this one off?
Well, it was and like the birds, they're obviously a death, terrible omen, and then we just kept getting more and more. So things were getting more and more bleak as the birds kept coming. That child still doesn't have a name. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if I actually made this a prediction, but I'm going to throw it here. If I'm not, we'll add it for number 1 here. That child will be named Sam. Or
Okay,
Samwell.
That's
It's
number
baby now.
1.
Yeah.
A
And then-
a boy named Sam.
Gilly, I think she's valuable. I think it's funny. Obviously, she's no great scholar, but she gets that fire going just fine. They're gonna make a nice, good team, and I like that she feels comfortable enough with him to say, like, "Do you just talk fancy around me to make me feel like stupid or confuse me?" I like her, even though she definitely feels inferior. Her ability to use her own voice, feeling free enough to speak up.
Try to put herself, equal playing field in the
Yeah.
relationship. And he's
Yeah,
like,
and
I don't. That's just how I talk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you can't unlearn how to talk.
Yeah.
And that's what he's getting at.
And it's kind of a good mirror with John and Egret as well, because she does the same thing. Oh, I was born in the castle. Plays up the whole highborn and all this, making her like she feels inferior because she's a wildling north of the wall, unlearned or whatever. She's like, "Is that a castle?" He's like, "No, it's a windmill." Very similar situation here with her, where she's like,
Yes.
"You're just trying to talk smart to make me feel dumb." No,
Yes.
sorry,
No.
that's just how I
I
fucking
just
talk.
am smart.
Yeah,
It's an unfortunate byproduct of just being smart.
right.
And the thing is, she's not dumb. She's just unlearned.
Not
Yeah.
There's
smart.
There's
no,
there's a
absolutely.
different
Total
skill
difference.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She
very
can actually make a fucking fire.
Yeah.
yes, like they that makes it a much better team.
Are
He
you trying to
sees
make it look dumb
value.
because you can start a fire? No,
Right.
that's what we're good at. These are
Everybody
the
I
has
things
just
their
that we're
happen to
good
strengths
at.
and weaknesses.
Yeah, I like that Sam doesn't like push her on this or make her feel like I am smart and I will always be smart, and putting her in some place. He sees value in her, and I think soon enough she'll see value in herself too. And then when we move on to some very creepy things.
So Raven Watch,
Mm.
going ape shit.
Ravens. Yeah, remind me. You guys ever see that movie Birds? I think it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alfred
Yeah,
Hitchcock.
so,
Oh yeah,
That's
Abby's
one-
favorite.
1948, I believe.
1948.
Sure.
1940
for the
doesn't
purposes
matter.
of this,
Well, let's see. I
he's
think I'm right.
exactly right.
He's right probably.
So from our resident,
Oh, no, 63. Sorry.
63, close.
My bad.
our resident avianophobic person on the show,
Mm-hmm.
Abby, who's terrified of birds. How does this scene make you feel?
To be quite honest, birds on TV, I'm not like super phobic where if it was like watching the birds would make me freak out or not be able to function. But I can't lie, there's a sound and it is a raven or a crow. It's that cawing.
The murder of crows.
It is too. It does make my heart start to race. So you could hear one, and it just kept going, and then I'm like, oh my god, and it's getting worse and worse, and they're just such a bad omen. I knew nothing good was coming to this. It definitely is not a situation I would want to be in, at all, ever. Not
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Please don't name him Randall.
I know.
That heartbreak. She's like, that's a strong name, or that's a solid name. He's
Yeah,
just
it
like,
is.
please don't name
It's
him
because it's
Randall.
handsome.
Yeah, that's it. Handsome name.
Yeah.
That's a handsome name. And just like you can see the heartbreak in his face. Just like, please don't.
I like
Yeah.
Mormont.
No,
I think
no,
it's
no.
a great,
Mormont.
that'd be a great first name.
I
for
like
this kid.
Duncan.
Duncan.
Two last names.
What was the third one?
Duncan, Kevin,
Gaiman.
Kevin,
Kaiman, John,
Tristan.
Christopher.
And
Then
no,
we go to Craster.
Christopher. It was with a T.
I thought that was going to be the question.
Yeah, I did too. So
Damn
I'm
it.
glad it wasn't. Personally.
But now, quick question: have you just stabbed another or a white or whatever the fuck?
Oh, White Walker.
White Walker. Thank you.
Other in the book.
Yeah. With
Capital
the dragon
O.
glass, and you saw him explode. Wouldn't you grab that fucking dragon glass again and keep it with you?
Oh, that is my one. That's my biggest question.
Now I
Why?
know.
Whoa.
We
here's
didn't
the-
grab a sword, and we didn't grab the dragon glass or the obsidian, whatever
Well, the
that
sword
was.
gone. Sword was destroyed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sword was
But we
destroyed.
didn't.
Yeah, he didn't grab that.
He didn't grab the blade.
No blades.
And
were
now,
grabbed after.
book-wise, I know why, because the blade dissolved or whatever in with the light. But you could clearly see the fucking thing on the ground.
Could you?
I
wasn't
mean,
looking
I
for
was
it.
pretty sure. You know, it looked like
I
it
was
still
under the
there.
impression it was still intact.
Yeah.
Like the sword definitely burst, but to me it looked like that thing was still there, and we just ran without it. I had the whole Harry, why didn't you grab the cloak as you were leaving? What a terrible choice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like almost all of Harry Potter. You have the tools. Stop fucking losing them. for purpose of plot. Stop losing the good stuff.
I feel like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and The Lion King could all be the same.
The same story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Just saying.
Yeah. Anyways, I think like basically the White Walker just kind of shoving Sam aside, dissolving the sword or whatever, and then I think the last act of a desperate man was just to grab the obsidian dragon glass knife, stab the White Walker, and it worked like a charm.
Yeah, it seems
Wouldn't you say?
pretty effective.
Pretty
Dra-
good.
Sam used dragon
convenient.
glass.
It was a wild White Walker has appeared. Sam uses dragon glass. It's highly effective.
Take.
Critical hit.
I do feel like Sam in all his book reading, there would have been something about this. Like he would have already known this.
Well, up until before he left, he didn't even know White Walkers existed. Like before he left the wall, he didn't really.
But
I mean, he had no.
you don't
was
think
what?
so? Because he,
finale of season 1.
Yeah.
that
he
saw
says about
the group of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he knows
but-
about the first men and.
well, but he does say like 3 blasts for others or whites or whatever. So I think he has some knowledge. Not that he necessarily believes in them, but I feel like he would have read this
And like
old school mythological book one
right,
time and been like,
myths and
"Oh,
legends and lore.
dragon glass kills them." And when he got this spear, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep this around because I happen to see them shits." I don't know. And Sam, what a brave moment for him, in a man who's usually so reserved and scared and can't shovel.
like a cowardly lion.
Yes, he found some courage. It was very nice. I liked it. Way to go, Sam. Ooh, I almost just knocked my whole computer over.
All right. Anything else? Final scene.
Good scene.
Good
I
scene, good
again
ravens.
always like when we have the mystical stuff
Ravens
showing
and stuff
up.
like that.
Ravens. We get to go to see Vikings versus Ravens games. That'd be a real treat.
Is this the first White Walker this season?
I think so. I think it might be.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe like the first scene of season 3. I think we had seen him walk in with Sam.
Were they white though?
We saw,
No,
No, they weren't at that point.
they're black.
yeah. But so this is the first time since the opening of this
Yeah,
season.
I think so. And that seems to be the trend. See him at the beginning, see him at the end.
Trendy. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Episode title: Accuracy. Second Sons.
Accurate.
Sure.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple scenes, couple 2, 3.
So tell us about them. What are we referencing here?
Well,
Because I think there's
obviously
more.
the group of Second Sons,
Right?
Dario and his captain
The
mates.
cell swords.
The Sellswords.
Sure.
Second Sons, as in Tyrion, being a second son of the
Okay,
Lancers.
fair.
That's
Or creating a second son, or creating a second
true.
heir.
Second coming.
I think Sam's the first son, so that
We
doesn't
need a
count.
first coming
Gendry, technically, book-wise, he's the second son of Robert Baratheon,
He's not a first son.
but he's not a first son. But
Are
show-wise,
there any other
The Hound.
second sons referenced here?
Hound.
Hound is a second
Hound
son?
is a second
okay,
son.
all right, all right.
There's
Hang
actually,
on,
if
there's
you
a-
see one scene, there's two sons.
You know,
2 stars.
You know, there were 2 moons,
So
and
there's got to be 2 sons then.
and potentially the dragons came from the moon.
Deal.
I'll leave that to Lucifer means Lightbringer.
A non-first son is Timothy Crasterson.
So second sons could just mean after the first son.
Yeah.
Crastersons are that's the big one that I'm basically sons of Craster.
Yeah.
And don't know where that starts, don't know where that ends, but that's the other one. We see an other show up.
Okay. Abby, you agree with that or no?
Agreed.
Agree. Least favorite thing.
That's why she's my favorite sister on this show.
She agrees.
Usually with me.
Least favorite thing. Ben?
Giant baby pussy, and go steal one part of Luke's, but by design, he was just such a fucking cunt this episode. I'm supposed to not like him, supposed to hate him. Good job.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I just, fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, Titan's bastard by design. Just a cunt. He's a
cunt?
prick.
A prick or a cunt?
He's a cunt prick.
Okay. Abby?
I was going with Benji's here. I was just disappointed with Tywin not stopping Giant Baby Pussy in the cloaking of the bride scene. I wish he could have danced around that little issue and not let it happen. But, he was, he's a legend. He should be able to figure it out. He's got all the moves.
Yeah, and I guess my least favorite thing, and I realize there's like a lot of storylines, going, but there's like a number of characters that didn't get seen, and then like a
Don't
couple.
have any Bran.
Right. No Rob.
John.
No Rob.
Yeah.
No
Not
John.
John.
No John. And
There's
then
no
like
I actually
Don
meant
either.
Rob.
no Don.
I actually meant
The
I actually
Don,
meant
the
Rob.
ball.
But and then like there's
No
a couple
brotherhood.
like the Hound and Arya. They just had that one small scene, and then the last like Sam and Gilly. Like it's just either a lot of characters didn't get anything or a really small scene. It was basically dominated by just a couple storylines. Okay, favorite thing. Abby?
I liked the before the wedding Tyrion coming to see Sansa and their little talk. I just think it sets him up real nice. That's all.
All right, Luke.
Crastersons showing up. I like the White Walker at the very end. It's just nice to see that it's always still going on in the background, and it's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Except if you have the exact thing that just turns into ice.
The trump
and
card.
shatters it.
Ben.
I vomited on a girl once mid-act. I believe in honesty is best policy. Come, I'll tell you about it. Get you in the mood.
I know, like, I'll tell you about it to get you in the mood. That's gonna turn her on.
Yeah, I mean, that was perfectly just dry wit humor. Just come, I'll tell you about it. Let's go. Come on, wife. I'll tell you about it. And just his overdrunkenliness.
He doesn't say, "I want to play Come Into My Castle," does he?
No.
That would have been
That would have been a nice touch, yeah. But that whole scene, from the fucking dagger stab all the way through to that, the drunken rant of Tyrion is just beautiful.
Right. My
Glenn?
my favorite thing was probably Arya and the Hound. I mean, it wasn't much. But it was just enough to kind of learn where they're going.
Where are they going?
Instead of what Arya might think that getting taken back to King's Landing. Now they're doing something else. Gonna try and hand you off to your mom, your brother, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I agree. It's a
that
good
was
scene.
pretty cool.
Pretty
cool. All right, next we have a promo special announcement coming July 1st. So be sure to keep an eye on our social media and join us again next week for more info.
I think we'll actually be live streaming for that as well. So join us on YouTube here again, where we will have some special announcements for you.
Yep. For all the ways you can help refill the beer fridge, check out the podcast, that.com/support us.
and then if it's okay with you, Luke, are we
Just go for it.
okay? So we are planning because everybody else knows what's coming next episode.
It's been
an
pretty
episode
clear.
9.
Episode 9s have been pretty big deals.
It's a big
at
one.
this point.
So
big
our
fucking
first
deal.
time watcher, what we've decided is we're going to live stream her reaction video onto YouTube Friday night. We're gonna try to shoot for, let's say,
Let's not put a time on it.
okay,
Just
Friday,
keep an eye on
keep
Twitter.
An eye on,
Keep an eye on Twitter.
There we go.
I'll
That's fair.
try to schedule it on the YouTube as
Yeah.
well as possible. We were
But-
half an hour late today, but that's perfect.
Yeah, and we'll
Assume we're always going to be a little bit later than what we say.
exactly. But we got to figure out
20
how to get-
minutes after bedtime.
Yeah.
That's what time it's at.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you. So keep an eye out Friday night, and you won't be hearing the audio, but me and Luke will give a live, detailed version, and Glenn, if he joins us, of this episode as
Basically,
it's going, watching her reaction.
Talking about her, reacting to it, and,
Yeah.
and interacting with the Twitch or the again Twitch chat, not Twitch
Drink.
chat.
Am-
I'll drink with the YouTube chat because
Am I gonna
so far
cry?
like YouTube better. You will watch the episode.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yep.
That's
So-
what I
I
can
probably-
guarantee.
If they make me
A
cry,
few tears and a few laughs.
I'll be surprised. But that's okay.
Okay.
Mostly,
Fair enough.
You know.
All right.
we'll see.
So please
What's
do
that?
join us Friday night. Check the socials for more info as we go.
Yep. Alrighty then. First time watcher on the wall predictions. Abby, take
Okay.
it away.
So my first one was that baby gets named Sam.
A boy named Sue. Sam.
Boy named Sue. If I have a son, I'd name him Jim or Paul or anything but Sue. That's,
Good choice.
Anyways, yep. My next one is we have the 3 leeches thrown into the fire.
Yeah, usurper.
And we have in there Usurper Robb Stark, Balon Greyjoy, and Joffrey Baratheon. It doesn't really say what they're going after, but I do know last time Melisandre had her hand on some flames and fire and shadow and all
cocks.
sorts of things.
Cockadoodles.
Yeah, there was definitely a death in a shadow form. I don't know if necessarily it'll be shadow form this time, but I'm going to put a time limit on those 3's lives.
Okay, so you don't think it might not necessarily be Shadow Baby style,
No.
but you think
Because I
those
think
3 are going down.
There's more than one
The
way
3
to
usurpers
skin a pig.
with the leeches.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think that those 3 are maybe not like the next death just because there's so many deaths and storylines going on, but I think probably by season, what are we at? 3-8 right now?
No,
By
we're at
season
3.
By
Not
season,
8.
the end of season 4, all of those people will be dead.
Okay,
So
and so that's Rob, Joff, and Balon Greyjoy.
Everybody that
right?
serves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So by the end of season 4, all 3 will be dead. Is your call?
Yep. And I
Man,
think
that's one of your biggest predictions.
I
That's a
I
bold
honestly
one. That's a Barristan
think-
the Bold prediction.
Man.
I don't.
Barristan
It is
Bold.
Barristan Bold.
The
You're
Bold.
right. I don't even necessarily think it'll take all the way to the end, but I think we'll have to have a couple because, like Glenn even said, we're not seeing everything happening in each episode. We're not getting parts of every storyline in every episode, so I think we're going to need a couple to get through to see them all die. Number 3. Let's go with Gilly and Sam.
They're fucked. I mean, they're fucked, right?
Yeah, they are.
No more daggers.
Or they
dagger.
fuck.
Dagga, dagga.
Let's let her
I
make the
think they are
prediction.
together. Like, I think
They're an
that
item now.
A thing?
Sam does his best to honor his commitment to the Night's Watch just because he is who he is. So it wouldn't surprise me if Sam, they like get back to the Wall or whatever that place, Castle Black. Yeah, Castle Black.
Casablanca.
And he
Casablanca.
continues to try to figure out how to be a man of the Night's Watch and also her partner. I don't necessarily think it gets physical, but I think she stays around.
Let's get physical.
And
Okay.
number 4, give me somebody.
John.
Any. John. Well, we haven't seen him.
How about something that happened this episode?
Let's go Sansa and Tyrion.
Tyrion
Sansa
is
Tyrion.
going to divorce Sansa and marry a 6-year-old.
Not my prediction. Glenn's predictions.
In Abby's name.
And Abby's
Yes. So I think that before I had predicted that Tyrion sends Shay away, I think that still stands. I thought it would happen faster maybe, but I think that Tyrion is going to try to do right by Sansa and kind of the life he has been given and is taking, and he will be respectful of Sansa and not take her into his bed if she doesn't want it. But I think that his love for Shay is going to be pushed aside.
Okay.
If
So
that makes
you
sense.
think his focus is going to switch over to swaying Sansa kind of thing? Like, basically focusing on her because she deserves that.
I don't think it's going to be in his mind as, I'm going to sway her. I think in his mind it's going to be, I'm going to deserve her.
I'm going to do right by her, and she deserves that.
Yes, I think that will be his focus.
Okay, so you think it's going to work out. They're going to, at least he's going to do his part.
I think that Tyrion is going to do his part to try to make this work. And I think Sansa isn't going to be completely resisting a little bit more than him. But I don't think I think they would just make a good team. And I think that his past interactions with her have been good.
Okay, Tyrion will do his part to make it work with Sansa.
Yeah.
And Sansa won't completely resist over time.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice predictions.
Thank you.
That's what you're here for, amongst other things.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right.
Like drawing cock pictures.
Cockadoodles.
Cocks.
Stay tuned, folks.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. All right, moving on. We're going to go with our house name, words, sigils, all that jazz. I am Glenn of House Dog. You miss 99% of the shots you don't take. My sigil is a Spuds McKenzie with a Wayne Gretzky jersey number 99 on. And we subscribe to the Moon Door Bee. Benji.
I am Sly of House McLean. House words are, it's dangerous to go alone. My sigil is 3 gold triangles on a field of red and black. And we read the Daily Sun.
Luke.
Lucan of House Blackmead. Ours is the drink. Obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background. We read the drowned word. It's an evening paper.
Word.
Word.
Gertie of House Condensation.
I am Gertie of House Condescension. We don't quit. We carry the banners, and they have a field of white with a raven sitting upon an up-pointed black chevron. And we get our news from the Nightly Raven.
Alrighty then, we are kind of wrapping up. Join us in our epilogue episode coming up next. What are we going to talk about? Do we know?
I think so. We have 3 written here. Let's throw it to the chat and see what we can fumble over. Obviously, this will be without first time watcher Abby because this is spoiler filled. But the 3 topics.
Abby, you can go to the beach now. If you want.
You can go to the beach with your son that was begging you to hang out today. You know?
Guilt tripping me into it.
Mom, don't you want to hang out with your family for once?
No, I don't.
I'd rather go drink with my brothers and Glenn. Right. But the 3 topics are Dario, Sam the Slayer, or King's Blood. So in the chat, please
put
type
it up to the gallery,
and we'll see you guys here in a couple minutes.
Sure.
We're gonna keep this stream going, and we'll get all your messages.
Righty on. Follow us on Twitter at KnowAndDrink. Send us a digital raven, knowandDrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. Until next time.
As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
And as always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
And as always, stay imaginary. See you guys in a few.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
All right, like I said, we are going to keep this Twitch stream up, but we are going to take a
YouTube
short
stream.
We're gonna keep this live stream up.
Oh, Luke.
Man, it's such a muscle memory at this point.
Yep.
But we will keep this live stream up, so please hang out with us and put your votes in. I'm seeing some for Dario, some for King's Blood. And we are going to take a short 5-10 minute break, basically just to make water and get some refills. And we will be back shortly. Abby, say goodbye because
Goodbye.
we're kicking you out. Get out. Go
See ya.
Go on,
Goodbye.
get.
Get out of here.
All
See ya.
right.
Can't
Goodbye.
sit here.
All right.
Sights taken.
Goodbye.
All right.
do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
And welcome back, and this is our bonus epilogue episode for season 3, episode 8. We are going to be talking about King's Blood.
King's Blood, y'all.
Blood.
Bloody.
So, anybody want to describe what exactly that means?
So this kind of starts from the Melisandre or the mech scene that we had with Gendry. You know, she's getting the king's blood
She seduces
through
him.
bastardhood. Robert Baratheon, he's got Stannerman blood in. She apparently needs that for sacrifices,
Yeah.
right? So she calls out the 3 usurper kings here, and
He does.
Stannis does.
Stannis does as he throws him in the
she
fire.
gets the blood.
Yeah.
The leeches
He
get
does
the blood.
this. Stannis takes
Stannis
the blood
takes the
via
leech.
leech.
Via leech.
throws Brian Leach into the fire, and then calls out the 3 usurpers in his mind.
Yep.
And
Robb, Balon, and Joffrey.
right, which is differently ordered from the books, and
And
so that's kind of where we're starting at. And I don't know, take it away.
yeah, my only note with it is because we know it's coming. You know, we know next episode, Robb bites the dust. Episode 3 of 4, Joffrey gets it, and I don't think it's until 4:10 or 5:1 that Balon.
King-
I
Kingsman?
think it's 5-1, or
It's season 5.
Season
I
Balon?
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe even later.
When
That's
Euron,
when Euron
it's
comes into the
Euron's
fold.
first scene.
Yeah, and
On
that's
the
what-
bridge.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't remember exactly when
is
that
that
is. 'Cause
5?
I feel like it might even be 6.
Yeah.
Because Euron, I don't think was
Yeah.
in season 5. I think Kingsmoot season 6, and then.
But I was
because-
just trying to think of when Gendry gets sent off.
No, it had to be season 5 because season 6 is when, or it all happens in season 6. Maybe it's early season 6 because
Yeah.
it's early 7 when Dany is shipping back with
Yeah.
the Greyjoys. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that many episodes before that Theon and Yara ran off to Meereen,
Yeah, well, they left Marine,
which was right after the Kingsmoot. So I'm
that
thinking
was
it's like
all
early
that was
season
all
6.
N6.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is probably early 6 that Balon gets killed by
Yeah,
Euron.
and I'm just trying. I guess that
We clearly do a lot of research on these things.
but that's what I'm saying is because Davos sends Gendry off. Right? Is it right after Robb? I mean, right after Robb. Is it end of 3? I think he sends Gendry off. He puts Gendry on the boat to row for the plot or the
I think it's
SSS
SS abandoned
Abandoned
plot
plot
lines.
lines.
Plot
I think
lines,
I think it's 10.
10 of 3. Okay,
think so.
I think he just before it was after
It
all
wasn't
3.
until he became an Olympic runner in
Yeah, well, no, but
season 7.
But book wise, they he waited until like all 3 of them were
Book wise, it's all a different character. it's
Well, that's-
Eldrick Storm.
Yeah, that's true too, and they stay on Dragonstone for quite some time. So, but it's one of those they waited till all 3 were gone, and that's when he ships him off. So this was a bit different, and also the order that they would say because it went Robb, Balon, Joffrey. Like I said, it would have made more sense if it went Robb, Joffrey, Balon. Just
for chronology.
yeah, because it would just I don't know. It would add more to the.
The
prophecy,
prophetic nature
Off
of
the
it.
list.
the
One
Lord's,
at a time.
the Lord's gift.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't quite agree because I do like the way the book does it where it has Robb last because he almost hesitates.
I
think it
agree.
even says he hesitates
Yeah.
and says the third one. And I like that because he doesn't hate Robb. He
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit about the other 2. He hates Joffrey because
Hates
he's an
Joffrey.
abomination.
Right.
And
Balon
Balon pissed him off back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, he still has those old
So
wounds.
Rob technically isn't an enemy. He's more like
It's
he
more
could be
of-
an ally, maybe like potential.
And I think even we talked about this on this show. If Sansa were to somehow for Blackwater, when Johnny was with us live last season, if Sansa were to be picked up, Stannis takes over King's Landing, has Sansa in his retinue at that point.
Clutches.
He probably would have worked with Robb.
Yeah.
Like they probably would have made kind of hash some things out because that's a big part of what Robb's trying to get. He's trying to get his sisters back and other things too. But like Stannis has no real animosity towards the Stark house. He had some ill feelings towards Ned due to jealousy with Robert. He felt like Robert gave a lot more credence to
More of a
Ned as a
brother,
brother
than him.
than Stannis ever had. But it's just kind of unfortunate
At
that
the same time, he knew
all
that
that
Ned
happened.
was honorable and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he absolutely
says
respected
that,
Ned,
yeah.
and he has nothing, no ill against House Stark. Is the point that I'm getting at?
Yeah, and Johnny has a good point here. King's Blood is in blind faith, a war where each leader faces off. Kings will die naturally. Red God is claiming credit for shit that was probably by luck anyway, which is a valid point, you know. But it's the chaos theory. Everything can happen, you know. If it can't
It's
happen,
the Nostradamus theory.
Yeah.
Just fucking put a whole bunch of predictions out there. Some of them are going to hit.
Exactly. This one was just
Like, especially in a time of
specific.
war.
Yeah, this one was just
There's
pretty
gonna be a war.
specific, and within
There's
a
gonna be a
certain
famine.
time
If you
frame.
roll the dice, this is a pretty fair bet.
Yeah.
The kings are going to die.
It's
when
gonna
there's
rain.
5 of them, I mean,
Oh,
one
yeah.
of them's down, right? Renly's down, caused by Stannis or or Mech. And it just makes sense.
Yeah, no, agree.
It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about other King's Blood? that-
Right. What characters have King's blood? Like, do we want to get into that?
I
or
mean, we
no?
can.
Sure.
I mean, you have. Let's start it with Stannis. That's the obvious one because he's direct
So-
line.
Shireen, right?
Shireen. Yeah. The fetal jar babies. Technically, all 3 of them have King's Blood. Hey, you want to burn some shit? There you go.
Yeah, that's just ready for the. It's just
The-
fodder for the fire, right?
They've already been soaking in a brine. They'll come
They'll
off
smell nice and salty.
salt and smoke.
Salt and smoke. We found it. Azor Ahai. The 3 dead.
Yeah,
Stannis
stillborns.
sons.
But
The
so you
leeches.
What were the names? One.
Oh god damn it! Oh, I have it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Give me a few. I'll find it. But all right. So go to the Targaryens. We have show-wise Dany.
Mm-hmm.
Dany and her stillborn dragon monkey baby.
and then
whatever.
the Blood Raven, doesn't he count?
Yes.
Blood
Yep.
Raven. Yeah, he's still
Brendan
there.
Rivers, bastard son, but blood of Targaryen.
Technically
blood of the
dead
dragon.
now, but Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah.
he-
Well, not in this story. Still alive.
Well,
where,
yeah.
where we're at, still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still alive by.
In this epilogue, it's hard to find. Oh, where are we talking?
Yeah, as of this moment, yeah, Aemon Targaryen still has it,
And that's a big reason why Jon sends him away.
yeah,
Because he knows that he's Targaryen, but he's like, we have to get him out of here, and we have to get not Gilly's son, but Mance Raider's son, Monster, out of here because they have, quote unquote, King's blood, and he's doing what he thinks is right to get them out of there, and that it's Aemon's idea,
yeah,
to get the son out of there, and sends Aemon along with him.
exactly. So going to the Starks, all the Starks technically have King's blood. You have Robb.
Who was the Stark that knelt?
It was a Brandon.
Nope.
Nope.
Torrin.
Torrin. Okay.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying, just based off of Robb being named King of the North, technically now all of his relatives have King's blood. So it's Robb, Bran, Sansa, Arya, Jon.
Well, John, we find out that he's King's blood through different ways.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
He's a duel.
Duel.
He is the Song of Ice and Fire.
I've said this from
I think so.
from the first time read through of book like 1 or 2. I'm like, Jon is Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, Johnny Indie Boots is the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep.
No, but like him and Danny both are easily the top 2 candidates for that, amongst others that play those very similar character roles. Let's not go too far on Azor Ahai here,
Yeah.
but
You're
No,
talking about
agreed.
like people that were like play a part in the whole scheme of things.
well, or that play the role of what Azor Ahai, the last hero, like that mythology in the story. There's a lot of characters that have a lot of the symbolism,
Like
the
traits.
symbology.
They could
Beric
be.
Dondarrion has a ton of them. Like they're resurrected. Like there's a lot of it, but it seems like Dany and Jon are the ones that play it the most. And yeah, Jon has King's blood on both sides of his lineage, even though he has no fucking clue.
No idea.
Nope, I'm just a bastard.
I'm a snow.
I'm a bastard.
I'm a bloody snow.
Well, if we're going book-wise, you have Elaine Stone, or not Elaine Stone, I'm sorry.
It's I know who you're talking about. Ringer Bell with Gendry. Is that who you're talking about?
No,
in
no.
the Riverlands.
No, I'm talking Stone. I'm talking in the Vale, the Mule Girl.
Yeah, Mule Girl. Yep. That's one of Robert's, right?
That's one of Robert's.
There's also the girl in the Riverlands.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. but it's the girl that goes after Gendry
Yeah.
when her and Arya are there, and she's like, I could ring your bell.
Yeah.
And
Arya's like, just go get her. And Gendry's like, I just might.
but then later on, he's like, yeah. Well, no, he says, no, I'm not interested in that. And then later on, Arya kind of ticks Gendry off, and he's like, maybe I'll go ring that girl's bell. I can't remember her name. But
Chad, help us out.
yeah, Chad,
Come on.
save us. So what else on
Rick,
King's Blood?
Johnny Indie Boots. Rickon always gets forgotten. True. Yeah. Fucking him and his walnuts.
Oh, and Johnny's also a big proponent of Craster having King's Blood and all of. No, he's literally saying the opposite.
Okay. I was gonna say like.
Well, I don't want to think about it right now. Knight's King Blood.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. His descendants might have the blood. Yeah.
The blood of the first man.
Yeah. That's got to be coming up soon, right? Is that the end of 10? No,
What are we
because that's
talking
my
about?
the touch, the
Touch by
The touch.
the Craster baby touch. Where
Oh, yeah. That's
is that 4?
season 5, I guess.
It
Might be season 4.
It might be 4. I was thinking it was 3, but I don't
Or they
see
take
it.
him to like that weird.
I think it's.
cir-
I think
stone
it
circle.
is like episode 10.
Okay, it might be that same episode.
But it's not 10 3 because
No,
10
no,
3
probably
is
10
my
4.
set. Probably 10
10
4.
4, good buddy.
Good buddy.
Over and out.
What else can we talk about on King's Blood?
Talked about who has it.
We talked about who has it. We talked about who's going to be killed by it, right? I mean, or at least
For it.
chaos theory.
Yeah.
Get that put on their head. Let's check the twat. The twat.
The twat.
The twat. Could the Night's King have King's blood of old? Think of it, he's green seer, but when he's transformed to reverse his gift, Bran can warg into humans. The Night's King can resurrect them. That's from Johnny.
So I feel like that's going to open up a whole bunch of different cans of worms that
Yeah.
you can stop me on if you don't want me to get into it. And I'm not going to say I disagree with anything you said there, Johnny. And the one thing that I'm coming across lately is, maybe it's just a new thought to me. It's probably pretty well established. Like the Night's King is warging all of these dead corpses. Yeah, that's seems like that's definitely a possibility. And twat. And I think the Night's King, who was originally a Brandon Stark, which I do think they're doing a hearkening to Night King from the books, has Stark blood, which includes Green Seer blood, it includes Warg blood.
Blug.
I'm falling apart, folks. But I think he's got that Stark blood, and I think it's reasonable to think that, Bran has many similarities with the Night's King. Well, I don't think Bran is the Night's King. No, those to me, those theories are bad.
Right, where he's playing as Bran, but he's also the Night King, like just kind of playing both sides.
Just because he can interact with past and future through the Weirwood net, it doesn't make him all fucking being. He still has limitations. I think the show's going to dumb that down a little bit and make it seem like he's all powerful, a little overpowered.
He just can do anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, and Johnny says like a multiple warg, Bran doesn't stand a chance. We've seen Bran hopping around warging, at least with the Ravens in early season 7. He's doing reconnaissance on the White Walkers, army or whatever, and we see the warging thing jumping between ravens and all of that. Yeah. I think Bran's next step is to be able to warg many at once. That's the only thing he can do next, because he's already got full knowledge of timeline at this point. So at least access to it, not knowledge.
You're saying the Night's King is warging everything? I think, or is it like a zombie situation where
I don't think it's a zombie situation
you're bitten
at all.
And then now you're.
I think it's a warg thing.
I think it's kind of it's along the lines of a warg. It's more of a.
It could be definitely a little bit different.
Pyramided. He's warged and he has his.
It's like playing an RPG. If this happens, this is your first goal. Like, just do this. This is your reaction.
Well, I go more for Borg style from Star Trek, plus the Warg thing.
Borg.
But it's like a term it's structured where he has his top 8. He has his Craster sons, and then they have their pickups.
And I think that's fair.
And I think they all feed into the Night's King. Like he gets all their information and can process it, and he can send out the rules. But it's a limited, kind of interaction. He can say, yeah, this one go do that, or he can just kind of put it on autopilot and just let them kind of
do your own thing.
Yeah, do your own thing. Handle your business.
Yeah, I don't think he's actively controlling all 10,000, 100,000 individual ones like 100%, but it is some sort of warg control where he's the game master.
He's doing,
guiding them all.
You guys, like a composer or something. Like, all right, the flutes over there do your thing, and then everybody else do their thing, and just kind of.
He's the Abe.
Yeah. He's the Ramin Djawadi. So last question from Johnny. Could Bran warg into the Night's King as he did with Hodor? What is the magical property levels here? Fuck you, George R. Martin, you vague prick.
I'm going to say no, because he can warg into weaker-minded creatures.
I don't think he could warg into even like Mira.
No.
I don't think he could go into... I agree.
Yeah, I mean, even after downloading the whole weirwood.net, I still don't think he could do it.
And with these reanimated dead creatures, there's no brain function.
Yeah.
I mean, on their own. There's no self-will that he has to fight with.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he might be able to get a white, might be able to get in control of one of them, but the Night's King, no, that's just not.
And it's
happening.
also, how do you what again, a Harry Potter reference. Sorry, Johnny. Whenever they're talking about I think it's the very beginning of book 6, where they're like, well, can't you just defeat the bad guys? You guys have magic.
Oh yeah,
well,
but then there's no story.
The bad guys have magic too. Like they have the same skill set. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm going to beat you at your exact same game when that's what I'm trying to do. Like the defenses are higher in that kind of situation. And sorry for the Harry Potter reference.
Yeah, and Johnny, I will disagree. Hodor's the smartest motherfucker in the whole goddamn thing, so IQ doesn't matter. He wrote a goddamn novel.
He has a whole goddamn autobiography.
The IQ, the brain power, though, only allows him to express in one, so that's why Bran can do it. His IQ is fucking through the roof. It's the autistic nature of...
Bran fucked him.
Exactly.
Mine fucked him.
Well, I think Bran
fucked him.
At the time that Brendan Rivers, the Blood Raven, died, he said to Bran, like, you're not ready yet, but you're gonna have to be ready.
And you are the Raven.
You're not
the
ready.
Raven.
There's a lot more you need to see, do all this, that, and the other, but it's time to step up to the plate.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Any final thoughts on King's Blood? We got all over the place.
We did. A
lot of blood was.
That's kind of where
spilled.
we always typically end up going.
Brain blood was spilled.
Yeah.
Glenn, take us out of this.
Alrighty then. Thank you for joining us for our epilogue episode. Until next time, as always, don't turn your back on the Wolfpack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
As always, 14 is the new 40. Stay imaginary.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Hang on, before you cut off the stream. Yeah.
Don't talk over the music.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Anyway, so
right.
We are heading to Johnny's page to watch some Quiplash. So anybody else in this room?
Johnny, are you getting ready to start?
There's like a
28 second delay. So answer me in like an hour. Because, I mean, everyone here, I think, already knows Johnny Indie Boots. And he's the shit.
Yeah.
And we are hopefully doing some collab work next week. I have to talk to Johnny about it still. But I'm signing you up for it. But we really appreciate you guys in the not Twitch chat joining us. It flows a lot better than YouTube chat. Twitch chat. It's because the Twitch chat. It's so quick.
Yeah.
All right, please jump over to Johnny Itty Boo's channel, follow him, subscribe to him, and goddamn, he's good. But so is Chrissy of Oldstone. So is Chrissy of Oldstone. So is
Terrence Pinkerton.
Terrence Pinkerton from Hogwarts Radio. So is
Okay.
Riddle Reviews, Bailey Riddle from Hogwarts Radio. So is Rich Shatwell. So is who else joined us?
Narrow C for
Narrow C was here before it went live,
and then decided to leave.
Mr. Narrow C himself.
Damn it, we didn't really.
We didn't
harp
have
on
any
that.
Narrow
We
C's.
didn't have any like
No.
He didn't join
good
the
opportunities.
That's his.
you know.
That's his fault. He didn't join the chat.
Damn it.
Piece of shit. God damn.
There wasn't really any opportunities where they're crossing the Narrow C. I guess when going.
Is
back
this the
from
first
Daenerys-
episode we haven't mentioned the Narrow C?
No, we did. Well, I mentioned it in chat before the show started. I said, "Hey, Narrow C's here," and they're like, "What?" And I explained the
What?
All right,
Yeah,
so
so-
we are ending this stream. We appreciate you guys all being here, and we will see you guys Friday night for the first time watcher first reaction of
Red Wedding.
Red Wedding.
Red Wedding.
Yep.
It's gonna be good.
So what are we doing? Just sitting
We are
and
basically
watching. Her?
We're gonna narrate the episode that
chat
she's
is
watching.
gonna have us watching her watch the video. We'll get her audio, but she won't be able to hear us.
So we're gonna see the episode as well.
We will not. We'll have to watch it locally here, and
Okay, we could.
there's a lot of things to figure out, Glenn. All right, don't put me on the spot. And it's Terrence Pinkston. You threw me off. The Pinkertons that's a Andrew Carnegie thing.
Yeah, well, dyslexia kicking in. I just
Pinkertons.
All right, so we are hopping off
Sorry,
here,
Terrence.
and I
peace
love
out.
you.